It's brother Jacob Head coming from Indiana. Are you there, Jacob?
Yes, sir. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing good. How are you doing today?
Hey, pretty good. Been a busy day.
All
We've got a
right.
concert tomorrow evening. I lead worship over at my church, and I've got a concert tomorrow night. And a bit of snow yesterday. I had to push back a rehearsal, so I'm just playing music all day long. But
Mm,
that's kind of what I'm used to.
very cool. Very cool. So real briefly here, you do a variety of things. You're doing some worship music, and I see also you are a board certified music therapist.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Tell,
Yeah.
tell,
So I stay really busy.
for some folks who are clueless like me, tell me what does a music therapist do?
So music therapy is a field that when I first started at University of Louisville in 2009, I didn't know a whole lot about it. I started there as a music education major and then found out about the music therapy field and switched over. Essentially, it's using music to meet non-musical goals. So I have a lot of clients who are special needs. Sometimes it's mobility goals,
Mm,
sometimes it's emotional goals, things like songwriting, and just as simple as having that
yeah.
interaction and that topic to work through with some people can be all the difference. So
Yeah. So it's not like you're just tapping into that therapeutic magic that music has that God's given us. Does that sound about
yeah,
right?
exactly. I mean, music in
Yeah.
itself. A lot of people describe it as therapy, and as board certified music therapists,
Yeah.
we find ways to take our interventions and our goals and objectives and direct
Right.
them towards specific plans. And every client's different. I think that's the fun part about it. It's the same thing with
Yeah.
teaching music. Every student, I teach about 20 students down at a local shop here that we have and teach everything. Violin actually is kind of my primary instrument, what I've been playing the longest.
Hmm.
But I've got some mandolin students, some guitar students, cello, piano, viola,
Cool.
bunch of different stuff. So with each of
Eh,
them, it's a different kind of idea and thing that they want to learn and work on. So it's pretty rewarding.
well, I love the whole concept because like I just mentioned when my band was playing at this recovery program last night. I mean, we're basically giving encouragement to people who are struggling, with their addiction recovery and slogging it through a day at a time, and it's like humbling just to get to lift them up and be a support to them. But beyond that, um, it makes me feel better just to get out and play.
For
So,
sure.
anyway, enough of that. What did you, um, what have you got to share with us tonight?
Yeah, so I've got a couple different instruments, actually a few different instruments up here. This first song is one that I have just recently released on my new album. This is called "Take It Away," and it was kind of a stream of conscious reaction to some of the events that happened in 2020, back when the pandemic first hit. And there's about four or five
Yeah.
different pages that have lyrics from this on it in different places. So until I kind of accumulated it into one song. And so this is the opening track on my album and hope you enjoy it. It's called Take It Away. How long will I wait to let it go? To understand that you are in control. So many thoughts inside my head. I'd rather have your peace instead. Time keeps moving steadily along. The world is peaceful, but a part of it is gone. When will life make the next move? How long will I wait to hear from you? Oh, take this pain away from me. Take away my fears. You know my doubts and second thoughts. You've seen me all these years. seems the time is never on my side. When the past, present, and future collide, I wish that I could just return to a time and a place with less concern. I wonder why we're born as who we are. Yet some will work their lives and never get this far. It seems as if our place of birth shouldn't determine what we're worth. Oh, take this pain away from us. Take away our fears. You know our hearts and troubles, God. Please help us persevere. And if we'd only take the time to pray, we'd realize that God is bigger than all of our dismay. He made every single part of our lives, and He knows our heart and minds, and knows what will become. So trust the Holy One. How long will I wait to let it go?
Lovely. Very nice, guys. Very nice. By the way, that is some lovely fingering on that mandolin. I as a guitar player, I could tell you, my fingers, all my life, I've tried to get my fingers to do that, and they just won't. You know, it's part of why being in the world of blues, I picked up bottleneck slide because it's like a totally alternate skill instead of fingering, right?
Right, exactly. Yeah, my
Yeah.
wife back when we first met, she was really into the long, not super long nails, but longer nails than what we can use as musicians. And so
Right.
I bought her a slide guitar, hoping that she'd pick that up. And we still have it, but she doesn't play it much. So, but
Well,
yeah, it is a completely different method. And being a
yeah.
violinist, I kind of grew up in the classical circle, doing the school system thing, and then the orchestra in
Yeah.
college. And so my fingers move that fast, but it's a world of difference between playing with the bow and coordinating and playing with a pick.
Yeah.
A lot of
Yeah.
people grow up with playing guitar first, and for me that didn't happen. All that kind of came second. So I've really had to work on it
Yeah.
to build up that skill.
Right. So, my dad played like sort of country style fiddle, so
Right.
I've seen a little bit of that. He was good at it too. All right, you've got a different instrument in your hands now.
Yeah, so this is actually an octave mandolin. It kind of looks like one of the old archtop type guitars that Martin would have put out years ago, made by the same
Yeah.
company that made the mandolin that I was just playing. And this is a cool instrument for just I can play some melodies and fiddle tunes and stuff on it, but it's a nice instrument for really those lush harmonies and chords and things like that. On my new album, I've got it on a couple of tracks. I've actually got 2 albums out. I've got an EP has all original songs on it, like the first 3 that I'm playing tonight. And then I did a hymn songs album that I recorded in our local, not really super local, but it's more local than you guys because you are, several days away, but 30 minutes away. We have a chapel that I've played plenty of weddings in called Duncan Memorial Chapel. And I recorded some hymns in there with various instruments to really capture those acoustics. So 2 similar albums in a lot of ways, but contrasting. I've got actually both of them right here. And I do have the physical albums as we were talking about
put
earlier.
Them up close to the camera.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, hold them a little closer to the camera. There we go. Oh, beautiful. Yeah.
So I do have those.
Very nice. Okay.
The original EP here that I have is up on all the platforms, digital platforms and things. I'm still waiting on the other one apparently there's more of a process when you take stuff that's public domain that isn't original. Who would know? But anyhow, but both of these I do have them
That's
available
weird.
for. Yeah. Sometimes it's just I'm still learning. I've
You'd think
heard.
public domain would be easier, right?
Yeah, right. But just listening to everybody on here talk about all their different processes and getting into recording engineering and editing and all of that, and it's still something that I'm working towards. Probably a decade after I started getting into that kind of stuff. So, I think one of the greatest things as musicians is that we can always learn from others, and that we can always improve and continue to grow as individuals and on our instruments. So no shame in having room to grow, because you don't want to. I don't think anybody really wants to just be done and like have plateaued at that level. So that's kind of cool. But
Right.
then this next song that I have, if I can remember all the chords to it here, of course I didn't write those easy, but it's a really kind of a simple song. It talks about my experience of being a new dad. I have a 15-month-old. We found out that our IVF process was successful right before COVID-19 started. And so it was a little bit later when we actually had our son, Christopher, November of 2020. So still some weird times that that he was sort of born into. But a lot of things had kind of gotten settled down before they ramped back up again. And, the whole cycle that it's been. But anyhow, this was kind of talking about my emotions of being a dad. I always thought I would be a dad, but when the rubber hits the road and you really have to make that decision, yeah, it really can change your life. So this is called Without You. You came into this world, much to my concern. I didn't think that I was ready for the things I'd have to learn. I didn't think that I would be prepared by the time of that curfew. But when I thought that I might lose you, with all of me I knew that it might take some time to figure out who I'm supposed to be and what I'm supposed to do. But I know I'm blessed without a doubt. Now I'm relearning how to live, because I can't live without you. I didn't think that I would ever feel this way. I know it sounds expected and perhaps it sounds cliche, but some things in our lives we can't predict ahead of time. And when you smile and laugh at me, there's no doubt in my mind that it might take some time to figure out who I'm supposed to be and what I'm supposed to do. But I know I'm blessed without a doubt. Now I'm relearning how to live, because I can't live without you. Every day's another milestone. Let's see what tomorrow will bring. I'm still a little scared and lost from time to time, but I know I've got my best friend to help me by my side. And when I look around at all that God has done for us so far, I have the faith He will make a way as we carry on. Now it might take some time to figure out who I'm supposed to be and what I'm supposed to do, but I know I'm blessed without a doubt. Now I'm relearning how to live, because I can't live without you.
Very nice. Very nice. All right. Yeah. I remember quite a long time back when dinosaurs roamed the earth and my first uh, born came into the world. You're never the same after that, are you?
No, no, for sure not.
Yeah, totally. Alrighty. So we're back. We're using a regular guitar now.
Yeah, this looks like a guitar. It is a guitar. They
Yeah,
actually
yeah,
have octave mandolins that are shaped like this, and but yeah, the
yeah,
guitar is a little larger than most octave mandolins,
yeah.
um, which is a good thing because I don't
By the
think I
way,
could.
just so you know, I change guitars too a lot. On a typical gig when I'm traveling light, I'll only take three guitars with me.
Right, yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
I
I
was
change them
playing
a lot
a
because they're
lot
on
over
in
there.
different slide tunings, right?
Uh-huh. I've
Yeah.
never really gotten around. I play a bunch of different instruments and different tunings, but as far as playing guitar and alternate tunings, I've never really figured it out where I'm comfortable enough with it. I understand what the notes are and things, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, maybe someday I'll figure that out. I've certainly got enough guitars that I could have them all in a different tuning,
Yeah.
and have plenty to play with.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
but this is one from my first album in 2019. I did a solo album, almost entirely solo as far as playing the parts, other than one track that I did with a cellist friend of mine who I played with in a string quartet for about 10 years. The Compass Quartet. We did everything from weddings to church gigs to let's see. I'm trying to think. We did a Christmas in September party one time back when we first started, but I had the privilege of arranging for them everything from Lady Gaga to Disney to Journey to Motown. So that would kind of got my creative wheels turning to have all that for two violins, viola, and cello.
Well, that's covering
Um,
all the bases, isn't it?
yeah, right. Yeah. So, but then a few years later, in 2019, um, I decided to release. I guess I recorded most of it in 18, but this is a song I wrote several years back called "We Are the Reason." I haven't played it in a little while, so let's see how it goes. It should be stuck up there, but this is probably one of my I don't know about my most requested songs, but this is one that everybody seems to be touched by a lot. So I hope you all enjoy it. He gave his life on Calvary's tree. He bled and died for a sinner like me. Light of the world, he gave it all. Perfect and blameless, he took the fall. And why did he go there to be killed that day? Why did he cover the price meant for me to pay? How he must wonder why we haven't shown to millions of people a love they've never known. He's perfect, so reach out and touch him. He knows all, so why don't you trust him? He loves you more than you'll ever know. He sees all your heartaches and troubles and helps you through everyday struggles. He made you and wants you to call him by name, because we are the reason he came. I know he provides my every breath. By his sacrifice, I've overcome death. World's perfect Savior chose to save me. Also that someday with him in heaven I'd be. There'll be no more sadness, sickness nor pain, no earthly treasures, but eternal life to gain. And showers of blessings stream from above, echoes of mercy from his unending love. He's perfect, so reach out and touch him. He knows all, so why don't you trust him? He loves you more than you'll ever know. He sees all your heartaches and troubles and helps you through everyday struggles. He made you and wants you to call him by name, because we are the reason he came. Now I'm not perfect, as he surely knows, but because his blood covers my sins, one day up to heaven I'll go. He's perfect, so reach out and touch him. He knows all, so why don't you trust him? He loves you more than you'll ever know. He sees all your heartaches and troubles and helps you through everyday struggles. He made you and wants you to call him by name, because we are the reason he came.
Very nice. Very nice. Tell me a little bit about your songwriting approach.
Oh goodness. Okay. I don't know, like I guess it all just depends on I think about like that song, which I wrote probably, I don't know. It's been probably at least a decade since I wrote that one. I don't really remember my songwriting approach with that one, but with some of my more recent stuff, um, sometimes it just comes from a riff that I find on my instrument. This next piece I'm going to play, this last one, the beginning of this intro was kind of something I had separate, and then I found a melody in that key that I liked and decided to just piece the two together and kind of make it something that made sense. But I think especially with the songs that I wrote last year, and or I guess 2 years ago now, it seems weird that 2020 is now 2 years in our rear view, but
Yeah.
a lot of it was just kind of stream of conscious of like, I'm going to sit down and
Yeah.
write these lyrics out as they come to me. And it isn't in a final draft by any means. It's really in this rough draft of having, several pages of a notebook with different things,
Right.
whether it's, scripture that comes to me or whether it's just, thoughts. Like when I started writing Take It Away, I never really had the idea that it was going to be a super outward Christian song. And in a way, it's not. I think that there's a certain skill that comes, or a certain appeal for someone who is a Christian songwriter, or someone that uses faith-based ideas in their songs, in getting their songs out there, where other people who maybe aren't believers are going to listen to them. And I think that if you start out with something that's really bold, that's not to say we shouldn't be bold as Christians, but sometimes it's easy for people to turn it off, but then you play something that's flashy or cool or pretty or different, and then you find a way to work the message and you find a way to work the scripture in there, and maybe that just opens their ears in a different way that you
Right.
wouldn't have done if you know, just going with a straight worship song or something like that. So I
Yeah.
think that being in different circles of musicians and different circles of churches in all my life, you kind of get the best of all of those worlds and figure out how best you can use it to serve the Lord, and how best you can use it to make other people's day in whatever way that you can, and still have some fun doing it yourself. So
Yeah.
um, it can be stressful at points. It's definitely stressful, especially with the new baby and everything, and figuring that out at the same time. But it's totally worth it. You know, when you're
Mm.
finished and you feel like you're pleased with yourself, and the Lord's pleased with you, and the people around you are pleased. So
Right. You know, a lot of it I could relate to. It sounds like you do the same thing as me, where sometimes just some musical feeling makes the idea and the lyrics pour out.
yeah, exactly. And I think that, you know, sometimes there's a, you know, a progression or a melody that comes to you, and it doesn't have to be like the
Right.
most fancy thing. But with this
Right.
one, I was just, you know, kind of sitting around noodling, and had this introductory idea, and
Mm.
then kind of had part of a song. And I was scheduled to sing special music at our church. We'll have a lot of times we'll have guests come in and do a couple songs, but sometimes it'll be someone who goes there. And I was scheduled, and I'm like, well, I need to finish this song. So it was all about looking up verses about patience and perseverance. And this was written probably
Yeah.
right at a year ago,
Mm.
when we were kind of starting to come out of the pandemic. But as we all kind of expected, you never really know when something like this will truly end. So, um, yeah, I think, you know, I draw a lot of influence from Sierra Hull, who is one of my favorite bluegrass and Americana songwriters and instrumentalists. She has some faith-based stuff in her music, but kind of got her start at a young age playing bluegrass, and Alison Krauss had her on stage, and she's kind of branched out a lot in her music. And
Mm.
I model a lot of my playing after her, but also guys like Stephen Curtis Chapman, who really just kind of wear their heart on their sleeve with their songs. I really respect that, and draw a lot from that. So, um, you know, two worlds that aren't miles apart, but definitely two different kinds of artists there. And I've, like I said, over the years, I've learned to appreciate all the different talents that all these folks have. So,
Mm. Great. All right. Well, let's hear what you got.
all right. So this one in my album, I've got some violin and some bass parts that I've recorded, and actually the bass was played by a friend of mine, Eli Rains, who I went to college with, and he and his wife Courtney are going to be joining me tomorrow night out at my church for a concert. She plays violin. We all went to U of L together, but since I've only got me and the this is a mandola, which is like the viola, kind of a tenor voice for the mandolin, a little bit larger, a little bit deeper. Since I've just got the two of us here, I'm going to be doing some humming and singing on these other lines that come in here. So. 29 was certainly profound. I'd hardly reached it and the whole world shut down. It's frustrating to feel cemented in time, but I know, yes, I know, life is precious from the minute to the year. We really don't know how much longer we'll have here. And like a vapor, it briefly appears and then vanishes. It vanishes. So let us run the race. Let us persevere. Let us stand as one as our hearts draw near. And let us keep the faith until all is clear. For tomorrow the sun will rise with joy, not fear. Why should I worry what the future brings? For tomorrow will worry about itself. Instead, I'll offer up a prayer of thanksgiving for my home and for my health. And finally, I'll think about those things that are noble, true, and right. And I'll recall all the memories that brought me joy to make it through the night till the morn. So let us run the race, let us persevere, let us stand as one as our hearts draw near. And let us keep the faith until all is clear. For tomorrow the sun will rise with joy, not fear. I'm stuck here in this place. How will I escape? So I will run the race. I will persevere. I will stand as one with my family near. And I will keep the faith until all is clear. For tomorrow the sun will rise with joy, not fear.
Very nice. Very nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, all
I hope
right.
that's an encouragement to somebody out there tonight.
Yeah, I hope so. Very cool. Did you have another tune to go, or was that?
I do not. No, that's all I've got
Okay,
for
that was
tonight.
it. All righty. So I just wanted to double check. You know, sometimes we'll accidentally cut someone off when I had one song to go, and we don't want to do that.
Right.
Um, folks, you've been listening to Jacob Head here, coming out of Indiana, and he's played some really lovely music, a lot of very cool mandolin work along with it. I want to thank you so much for coming and being part of Red's Room tonight. It's been a real blessing.
Hey, you're welcome. You're welcome, man. I'm glad to make it happen.